Alrighty, folks, we're now 5-0 in our last 5 chairman package picks on my premium page. We had Oregon State +5 yesterday in that package. They did lose in a heartbreaker, but we had them catching 5 points, so that is yet another winning ticket for us in that package. And the good news is I've got another chairman package pick going off here today for Wednesday. That play's already posted and ready for access in the post section. And you know I got to give a big shout out to all of my Gold Club members because you guys cashed in on 6 winning tickets on my premium page yesterday. We had UC Irvine, Villanova, Oregon State in college basketball. We also had the Padres, Rays, and Dodgers in Major League Baseball. And the only way you could have cashed in on all those winners is to join my full access, all-inclusive Gold Club membership. Gold Club members get access to every single premium selection of mine, every single package, every single day for the next 30 days. And before we go ahead and move on, just want to take a quick timeout and welcome you to my free pick video here today for Wednesday, April 2nd, 2025. Happy Wednesday to you. Happy hump day to you. Weekend's right around the corner. We are halfway there. And if you're joining me for the first time here today, my name is Brock Page. I've been dishing out free sports picks on YouTube since 2016. Of course, if you don't need access to all of my premium selections, but maybe you're curious and you could use like one a day, you may want to think about signing up for my daily best play package. It's just 6 cents a day for 30 days worth of access. I also have plenty of free content on my premium page as well, and that includes my current overall win-loss record. I currently have over 2,280 members who are signed up and active on my premium page right now. And with that, folks, let's go ahead and dive into some free content. We're going to start it off in college basketball. Butler taking on Boise, 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off. Boise State is -7, totals 154.5. Now, Boise is 25-10 on the year, but they did fail to cover recently against Fresno State and Colorado State twice. And as solid as they've been on the offensive end of the court, they have certainly struggled shooting the 3-ball this year. They're making only 31% of their long balls, 312th in offensive three-point percentage. And they're facing a Butler squad who defends the 3-ball well, and they rarely send shooters to the foul line. The Bulldogs are currently 9th in the country in free throws allowed. When it comes to guarding the 3-ball, well, the Bulldogs are limiting opposing shooters to just 31% from outside the arc. Of course, on the offensive end, Butler averages nearly 75 points a game this year themselves. Got a couple of guys who can certainly shoot the deep ball, and as a matter of fact, 4 out of Butler's top 7 scorers, they're shooting 41% from 3-land or better. Patrick McCaffrey scores 11 points a game, 41% from long range. And Pierre Brooks, he's averaging 15 points a game himself, 81% from the foul line. Now, Butler's covered the number recently against Utah, Providence, and Georgetown. When it comes to the total, Butler games went 60% to the over in their last 10. Boise with overs recently against George Washington, Colorado State, and Air Force. I like Butler +7. Over 154.5. Next matchup, Nebraska, Georgetown, 9:30 p.m. East. Nebraska's -7, totals 152. Both programs with 18 wins on the year, solid on the defensive end of the court. Starting off with Nebraska, they really don't tend to get into a ton of foul trouble on defense, limiting opposing shooters to just 43% from the field. Meanwhile, Georgetown on the other side, well, they're allowing just 69 points a game themselves, 42% from the field as well. Georgetown saw unders recently against DePaul, Marquette, and Seton Hall. Nebraska games went 4-3 to the under in their last 7. I like the under 152. All right, NBA action. Knicks, Cavaliers, 7 o'clock East. Cleveland's -10.5, totals 230 and a hook. The Cavs are 60-15 on the year, 32-5 at home. They're currently the highest point-producing team in the NBA, first in shooting the 3-ball. Darius Garland drills 40% of his long balls, 20 points a game for him. And Donovan Mitchell, he's averaging 24 points per contest himself, 4 boards, 4 assists. And even though the Knicks have played pretty well recently, they are dealing with a handful of injuries at the moment. Both Brunson and Towns are banged up right now. Payne and McBride with lower body injuries as well. I think where the Knicks are going to get hurt in this one is their defensive play. They're second to last in blocks per game, bottom 5 in guarding the 3-ball. Knicks games did go 4-2 to the over in their last 6. Cleveland 5-1 to the over in their last 6 themselves. I like Cleveland minus 10.5, over 230 and a hook. Next game, Hornets Pacers, 7 o'clock Eastern tip. Indiana's minus 15, totals 225. Now the Pacers are 13 games over 500, but when it comes to the point spread, they're just 33 and 42 against the number this year. And more recently, the Pacers failed to cover in 7 out of their last 10. They currently rank 25th in defensive field goal percentage. They're also struggling a bit underneath the board. They're actually in the bottom 10 in defensive rebounds per game. And that's definitely good news for Charlotte fans because this is a top 10 offensive rebounding team. They're coming fresh off a win against Utah the other night, covers recently against New York and San Antonio. Miles Bridges, he's averaging over 20.5 points a game. Mark Williams, double-digit rebounds for him. Now, injury-wise, Smith and Okogie are questionable for the Hornets. Turner and Mathurin day-to-day for Indy. Pacer games went 60% to the over in their last 10. Charlotte with overs recently against Orlando, Miami, and Oklahoma City. I like Charlotte plus 15, over 225. Next matchup, Kings, Wizards, 7 o'clock East. Sacramento's minus 12, totals 231.5. Sacramento 3 games under 500, just 30 and 45 against the point spread. Meanwhile, Washington on the other side, though, they've got a winning record against the number themselves. Covers recently against Philadelphia and Denver. Jordan Poole scoring 20.5 points a game. Alex Sarr with 13 points a night himself. And they're facing a Sacramento team who's definitely struggled over the past few weeks. Losses in 6 out of their last 7. Failed to cover in all of those contests besides 2. When it comes to defensive play, the Kings have had a tough time guarding the deep ball. They're dead last in defensive three-point percentage, allowing 15 3 balls a night. Now, injury-wise, Carter's questionable. LaRavia's still hurt. Meanwhile, for Washington, Smart, Middleton, George, and Brogdon still banged up for them. Washington games went 7-3 to the over in their last 10. Sacramento with overs against Portland, Chicago, and Cleveland. I like Washington plus 12, over 231.5. Next matchup, Heat, Celtics, 7:30 Eastern tip. Boston's minus 11, totals 212. The Celtics are 56 and 19, winners of their last 9 straight. And on the offensive end, the Celtics make more three-pointers a game than any other organization. It's actually 18 made 3 balls a night. Jason Tatum's averaging 27 points a game, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. And Peyton Pritchard's drilling 41% of his attempts from beyond the arc. And they're scoring off against a Miami team who's played some pretty good basketball themselves recently. But I do have concerns about Miami's offensive play. The Heat's averaging only 109 points a game, 25th in field goals made. The Heat's also making just 16 free throws a game. That puts them in the bottom 5 in that category. Wiggins, Love, Robinson, and Jovic are questionable. Porzingis and Brown day-to-day for Boston. Both teams with unders in 5 out of their last 9 respectively. I like Boston minus 11, under 212. Next contest, Jazz Rockets, 8 o'clock East. Houston's minus 17.5, totals 227. And I'll tell you, for a team laying such a large number in this spot, Houston has certainly had a tough time covering the point spread lately. They failed to cover in 7 out of their last 9. Worst free throw shooting team in the league. The Rockets also get a ton of their shots blocked, and they are second to last in assists per game. They're facing a Utah team who covered recently against Charlotte, Washington, and this very Houston team. And as bad as they've been on offense, well, they do rebound well, and they're in the top 10 in 3 balls made. Now, injury-wise, Springer, Sexton, and Kessler are questionable for the Jazz. Williams and Markkanen still hurt. Total-wise, Jazz games went 6-3 to the under in their last 9. Houston with unders against the Lakers, Hawks, and Heat recently. I like Utah plus 17.5, under 227. Next game, Hawks, Mavericks, 8:30 p.m. East. Dallas is -3, totals 237. Dallas with overs and 9 out of their last 10. Still a top 10 field goal shooting team. The Mavs have also done a nice job getting to the foul line. They're currently 5th in the league in free throws made per game. Meanwhile, Atlanta on the other side, they saw overs in their last 8 straight themselves. Top 5-point producing team. Not particularly expecting a defensive clinic in this one. Give me the over 237. All right, Major League Baseball, Rangers, Reds, 12:40 p.m. East. Cincinnati's -1.25, totals 8.5. Hunter Green for Cincinnati, Jack Leiter for Texas. Leiter had looked good in his season debut. He did look good in his season debut. Just 1 run on 5 hits through 5 innings of work. Leiter did record the W in that start. And of course, as a team, the Rangers got the W in 3 out of their last 4. Allowed just 5 total runs in those victories. And they're facing a Cincy team who dropped 3 of 5 to start the year themselves. They were shut out in this series opener on Tuesday. They had only 4 hits in the shutout loss. Friedel and De La Cruz hitless in that game. I think we see more of the same here today against Leiter. Give me Texas plus 105, under 8.5. Next matchup, Pirates Rays, 1:10 p.m. East. Pittsburgh's -1.25, total 7. Paul Skeens for Pittsburgh, Ryan Pepio for Tampa Bay. Now, Pepio's allowed just 1 earned run through 6 innings in his season debut. And for a team with no home, well, the Rays are 4-1 to start the year, winners of their last 3 straight. Tampa Bay's pitching staff has allowed only 1 run through 2 games already with the Buccos. And speaking of Pittsburgh, these bats are pretty ice cold to start the year, averaging just 2.5 runs a game through 6 contests. I like the Rays plus 105, under 7. Next matchup, Royals Brewers, 1:10 p.m. East. Both teams are -110, totals 8. Freddie Peralta for Milwaukee, Cole Reagans for Kansas City. And despite a shaky season debut, Cole Reagans has really thrown well over the past few seasons. Actually coming off an All-Star 2024 campaign, 223 strikeouts for the lefty. And despite being shut out in Game 2 of this very series, the Royals did put up 11 big runs in Game 1 of the series. It's definitely a team who's got some guys who can hit. Michael Garcia is hitting .353, couple of homers, and a .1235 OPS. Johnny India is also 7 for 20 with a handful of runs. They're facing a Milwaukee pitching staff who's allowed their fair share of runs already this year. Through 5 games, the Brewers have given up 47 total runs. The starting pitcher, Freddie Peralta, he took the loss in his season debut. Pair of homers he gave up in that start. Now, 3 out of the Brewers' last 4 did get over the total. Kansas City with overs in 3 out of their last 5. I like Kansas City -110, over 8. Next matchup, Angels Cardinals, 1:15 East. St. Louis is -140, totals 8. Sonny Gray for the Cards, Yusei Kikuchi for Los Angeles. Kikuchi took the loss in his season debut, .450 ERA. And he's facing a Cardinal lineup who's done a nice job at the dish. 6 runs a game they're averaging, winners of 3 out of 5 to start the year. I like St. Louis -140, over 8. With that, folks, we got games starting here pretty soon, so I got to jump into the quick pick recap. We have a ton of games on the slate still, but we got to get to it. White Sox +1.5, over 7.5. Toronto +$1, under 8.5. Cubs -110, over 8.5 runs. Giants +1.5, over 8. I like the over 6.5 in that Detroit-Seattle matchup. San Diego minus 175, under 7.5. Miami plus 1.5, under 8.5 runs. Baltimore plus $1, under 8. Phillies minus 1.5, over 7.5 runs. Yankees minus 135, over 8. Dodgers minus 1.5, over 8. NHL, Minnesota plus 1.5, under 5.5 goals. Under 5.5, Washington, Carolina. Under 5.5, Florida, Toronto. Avalanche minus 1.5, over 6.5 goals. And give me the over 5.5 in that Seattle-Vancouver matchup. And with that, folks, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on my premium page. And if you do end up getting a membership here today on my premium site, just a friendly reminder, you're going to get access to that membership every single day for the next 30 days. And as an added bonus, you're also going to get access to all of my cheaper memberships during that time frame, absolutely free. It's going to be included with your membership. That's why I always tell folks, that Gold Club package, it's a full access, all-inclusive membership. Gives you access to every single premium selection of mine, every single package, every single day for the next 30 days. But most importantly, folks, gotta thank you for joining me right here on the free video. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. With that said, folks, happy Wednesday to you. Happy hump day to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my premium page.